Greetings. Welcome to Of Darkness and Light. My name is Echo Augustine. Thank you for joining me here today. I want to talk a little less intensely. Now the emotion is purged from having realized that female human beings are the ultimate perpetrators in our world. And that is reflected in how they see themselves as perpetual victims of male-bodied people. I want you to think about something if you doubt this. Say you're a young male. Say you're born into the world. Say you're the younger brother of a female. That younger brother bears the whole weight of history, not only in our DNA, not only born from the results of our hereditary history within us to make a different choice, but then made to act as if living out that punishment in a logical fashion by social systems owned by females who expect deference to be paid in overt ways while they still traumatize themselves based on myths of old and blame everyone else for it. Trans women most of all. If you don't feel I have the right to speak on some of the things or decide that I'm calling females, you're wrong. You're dead wrong. I'm a male. Do you think it's wrong for me to call myself a male? How dare you to even have that kind of body reaction to fight through? That is the clearest sign of enforced cognitive dissonance through language that doesn't make sense. And it's like, hey, that language exists. We just don't use it because it's polite. Yeah, if you force yourself to not use language, you're creating a mental block around it, just like retardation. We have a mental block around people who are mentally retarded. Like me. So much so that in my unique circumstance, as a trans woman who loves embodied females of flowing masculine and feminine energies, wholeness, to have been tortured to death for needing a goodbye hug because I was also the nerdy girl. I was like it was like a high school relationship where I was the dorky girl who got with a cool girl. And that was the case in lesbian culture. And they were riding that coolness of being like lesbian queen. And we got too close. I was too ugly, too uncool, too socially unacceptable. So they made the choice to never see me again, despite the fact that it threw me into the deepest depression of my life. I had only begun hormone gender transition, and it was my first relationship, and it scarred my inner feminine growing self to the highest of levels. And it led me into a deep depression, which led me towards abuse, which led me into becoming highly schizophrenic and delusional and lashing out and reaching out, begging for help. A whole year later, after reaching out to them the first time in a bunch of weird ways, after reaching out 6 months later and being like, hey, I'm sorry, and then they just blocked me. This person put a restraining order on me for falling into manic delusion that they set off by being so overtly cruel and torturous to my mentality of a disabled woman who loved them but needed a hug. I'm like the uncool girl at school who somebody bullied, schizophrenic, and won't even give a hug, even though they cry about them all the time still, and they would very much like to let that go, and they've wanted to let it go the whole time, and they are a healer person who knows damn right that they're going to carry heart trauma their whole life because of this person that is highly, highly significant, and not something to shirk at, and not something to avoid, and then put people on antipsychotics or anxiety meds for. Guess what? I've healed every other trauma in my body except for the worst trauma of my heart put upon me by someone in no connection to their own heart who continues to just sit out there, and they're going to watch me go homeless because that's what's happening, because they're not helping, even though they're liable, and I'm trying to get out of like having to do a lawsuit to own them in the future and get my livelihood back, which they have literally stripped from me. It's the most absurd thing ever. And I beg you, if you think this is some kind of obsessive breakdown, check your fucking sexism. If you saw any lady saying what I'm saying, what would you think? That motherfucker needs to give them a hug. Let me answer it for you. That person is being really bad. They need to give this girl a hug. Yeah, I have the girl spirit. I have the lady spirit. You can pretend whatever you want about my voice, but a woman in a male body would use the whole of their voice. They would get deep when they want to. You're goddamn right we do. Speak from my fucking chest and my Adam's apple dropped, and I don't fucking care about your superficial horseshit. I don't have to talk like this to be a woman. That's the fucking stupidest shit I've ever heard. And so you're watching me here, living through ongoing torture, figuring out the keys to the universe, being one of the smartest people alive, if not the smartest person alive, being on a list, one of the smartest people in human history, definitely on the list of one of the most resilient survivors of human history for terms of unseen trauma of the highest level, entire lifetime of it, magnified by a monster, built by a culture that doesn't understand itself at all. Social cis matriarchy is a thing, and it's a gaslighting notion. I want you to think of something. There's this really terrible show with one good episode called like Bent Neck Lady, right? It's like haunting at Hill House. If you like that show, no apologies for me. It's genuinely one of my least favorite shows. Every single line of dialogue is the most cloying, poorly written, let me explain all of my feelings kind of inhuman bullshit I've ever heard. And the storytelling choices they make are absurd. It's just absurd. It's just absurd over and over and over. And then they try and do like The Fly episode, like a rip-off Breaking Bad episode at a funeral parlor. And it's the worst thing ever made. Worst thing ever made. And then at the end, we're going to get to the end here. There's a man who is cheated on, and the resolution that's fitting with modern day female ideas is for this man to discover that his wife had cheated on him, and she had to reveal her disgusting transgression against their relationship, which she was holding in secret and which was tearing them apart for years and years afterwards. And she gaslit him about, I know we'll make this together. I know we'll make this through together because you love me the most and I'm the best gaslighter in the world. People are like, oh, that's sweet this day and age. When they're bought in to female horse shit, dude, there's no accountability in that. There's no accountability in that because if a male, yes, we can do 50-50 comparisons. Why wouldn't we be able to? Because you're gaslighting and manipulating and trying to make the world your own little fucking play place. And it works because other people are so obsessed with your pussy, they'll just do whatever you want. Good job. Way to go. That's your character. Pussy wielder, if you're doing this stuff. What an excellent human being. I'm glad I bet when you die, it's gonna be really happy thoughts you have. What are you gonna die thinking about? Abuser person? That's what I thought. You probably don't know. It's me, especially if I die. Welcome to traumatic core memories paid back. Oh, okay, let's talk about one other shit mythological example. So I really liked the television show Girls. I thought that it was an excellent character piece and just a wonderful way of following the emotional arc of the characters straight up and kind of just like eviscerating traditional plot lines to tell the best story about character growth. And I really love it. I really love it. And then the last season, all the characters became total complete caricatures. And it was just a discourse straight from the books of new age, feminist, female is the future, hierarchical, matriarchy horseshit. And it was just running down every male on the show. It made the best characters sit there and listen to which is Adam Driver's character. I'm sorry. That babe killed it. Lilith in the House, in my opinion. Why else would they sign up for that? Think about it. So also, that character, right? His character was the best arc of the show, and it was just completely aborted for female horseshit. I'm not allowed to say aborted. You own the word aborted and rape, right? These are the words you own. Interesting. Maybe you're intellectually raping everyone, females. Jesus. Sammy. Okay. So yes, that character, Hannah, whatever the fuck, from Girls, she adopted a black child, a boy, or had a surrogate do it, some inhumane shit, right? Not that it's inhumane to adopt a black child, it's inhumane for that Hannah character to do that. It's so inhumane. Especially the male part. Literally sermonized how they were already an abuser to their friend in that show. They're like, I just don't know what to do. They're already such a problematic baby. It's like, what the fuck is wrong with you? We need to give children and youths and people of modern times clean slates based off of their actual actions. And you're not doing that. and you're pretending it's not misandry. Oh, wait, we can't say that word. Misogyny is the thing that kills the world. Yeah, this kind of reflection, this kind of criticism, right? Not allowed, not allowed. Try me. I'm never gonna stop. This is what's killed me. Females, own it. You hate trans women. You hate how I know I'm more the goddess than you, don't you? You know what I would think if somebody said that to me? Nice try. What does that tell you? What does that tell you? If I call you a boy, does that invalidate you? Does that make you feel your feelings feel hurt? If I call you they, does that invalidate you? Does that make your feelings feel hurt? If I call you a lady or a girl or a female, it's like, or I have to call you a cisgendered woman, but then that offends everyone else. And then they call you a woman, you're like, I'm not a woman, I'm a human being. It's just like, you need to hold accountability for your mental manipulation of the world and your backwards victim mentality, females, because you're killing people and you're creating terrible culture. I watched you wreck men who are good people into horrible people. It's 50-50 in action on the floor, in schools, that kind of deal. Communities, it's 50-50 in action. At first. But then the male tries to take accountability and meet you halfway. What do you do? What do you do?